Hey everyone, KillCam here. It's time for another guest Rampage. Today's pilot is FlyGirl, formerly of Squadron, but now a community helper. She spawns into this flight in a BF-109 F4 right over a couple of enemy planes. She noses down for the boom and zoom pass on one of them, and once she's in range, she opens up a can of Mananga sauce, sends that plane into the water. Note her kill counter at the bottom of the screen says 10 kills. She'd already racked up 9 kills in her first flyout in the Focke-Wulf 190A4. Obviously she got a taste for blood and went looking for more in the 109. She's got the gun pods on. Flying a little over 1200 meters, it looks like an aggressive approach is the order of the day. Now FlyGirl starts looking around for her next prey. Straight ahead at her altitude she spots a Junkers 88 bomber. The Ju-88 is descending slightly, so her initial approach is from head-on and above. She misses to the backside of the bomber, so has to whip around and get on its tail. Low-tier German bombers have weak defensive guns, so FlyGirl just closes and fills it with cannon shells. Slowly but steadily, she chips away at the bomber's structural integrity. Eventually, she's rewarded with fire trailing from the fleeing bomber, and what looks like will be the second BF-109 kill. This plane, though, has multiple fires raging, and stubbornly refuses to die. FlyGirl keeps putting bursts into it, though, until she's rewarded with kill number 2 in the 109. Next up, a Beaufighter Mark 6C is flying toward her low and slow. The first salvo misses after the plane, and she banks left to get on its 6. The Beaufighter is doomed as she winds up parked less than a quarter kilometer off its tail. At this range, a kill was certain, except that a teammate came and took it. At this point, FlyGirl notices she's in a disadvantaged position relative to a number of enemy planes nearby, not to mention flying in the middle of the enemy's anti-aircraft coverage. Wisely, she points the plane in a direction to take it out of danger. The throttle is firewalled and she keeps an eye behind the plane to make sure she's not being pursued. When she's clear of the danger zone, the nose is pitched up and the plane goes into a shallow climb. She takes another look back and sights a plane who might present a problem but seems to fall back. Only then does she consider a steeper climb when the enemy plane is engaged by an ally. The Friedrich's tail is clear, and she pitches up into a proper climb until reaching over 1,000 meters altitude. Once the plane is over 1,000 meters, she decides to point it back into the fight and peeks over her left shoulder to see. At this height, FlyGirl has local altitude superiority. She spots a Spitfire down low and within reach of a boom and zoom pass. The 109 is quickly committed to the attack and dives right at the Spitfire's anticipated position. She's got the enemy fighter targeted and uses zoom to get a closer look at it. The Spitfire is making a run at a cargo ship, so she gets in front of it and puts it into the water for kill number 3. These aren't your classic high altitude boom and zoom passes. What FlyGirl is doing is gaining local altitude superiority at roughly 1,000 meters and taking out the lawnmowers. They peek over her left shoulder now. Enemy planes inside a short distance away, so FlyGirl points the F4 in that direction. Right away, Yak-19 can be seen circling with an allied plane. The Yak's attention is totally consumed with its current target and consequently vulnerable. FlyGirl sneaks up on the Yak-6 and opens fire inside 350 meters range. The Yak is set on fire, but not enough for a kill. Suddenly, a P-47 Thunderbolt flies right into FlyGirl's crosshairs, takes the Yak's place for kill number 4. Using the discipline of boom and zoom tactics, FlyGirl doesn't turn to finish off the burning Yak and flies away to reset. Later on, FlyGirl runs into a Hawker Hurricane who inexplicably thought it'd be a good idea to head on with a BF-109 F4. If your enemy sets out to hang himself, feed him the rope, FlyGirl. Kill number 5 is like taking candy from a baby. A stream of shells and slight climb to avoid ramming the wreck were all that were required. To make matters worse, a Gladiator pilot gets the same idea as the Hurricane and gets the same result. Going head-on with planes that shoot 20mm cannons in a plane that shoots 7.7mm machine guns is certain death. Dare I say, like clubbing a baby seal? Give that lady the Seal Clubber of the Week award for conspicuous excellence in seal clubbing. Well done, FlyGirl! There's some activity over on our left, so let's see what happens next. FlyGirl makes a quick check behind her and sees she's clear. She's free to go after the Japanese Ki-45 that looks to be attacking those ships straight ahead. While she closes, she keeps an eye on the red enemy marker to her right. She's got the Ki-45 lined up and sends a long burst downrange at it head-on. The Ki-45 was distracted by a teammate of FlyGirl's, so didn't have as long time on target on her plane as she had on his. Kill number 6 was a dangerous head-on, but a good gamble as the Torayu couldn't quite get its guns up. Our intrepid guest pilot hasn't forgotten those red blips to her right. She climbed up to 750 meters altitude and went over to lend a hand to her teammates. One of the Reds disengages, so she goes for the Spitfire on her ally's tail. Everything lines up perfectly as the Spitfire gets led right into her crosshairs. At about 450 meters range, she opens up her guns and starts shredding the enemy plane. It's on fire and her teammate 6 is cleared by her 7th kill. This leaves her with her own problem though. as the red who disengaged has come back and is firing from her own 6. It's time for some defensive flying and a little help from some teammates. FlyGirl does not give the enemy the fight at once. Instead, she bugs out and noses down towards the water to maximize her airspeed and drag out a chase. She bobs, weaves, and jinks to make herself as difficult to target as possible while doing so. She may not get away outright, but she's buying time for a couple of teammates to get onto her pursuer's 6. The longer the enemy stays tunnel vision on her, the greater the chance a teammate can take it out. Now that she sees she has support from teammates, she banks left to help them get a better shot at the bogey. At this point, the enemy is indecisive and it looks for a moment like she may even turn the tables herself. It's 2-on-1 already though, and FlyGirl elects to leave her teammates to finish off her pursuer. As she comes around on a turn to avoid the enemy's guns, she sights an enemy approaching the furball. She's in the best position to intercept, and she goes for it. One last turn to keep away from the pursuer, and she straightens out and exits the furball finally. A last look back to make absolutely certain she's in the clear. This is the paranoia you should develop flying in War Thunder. That done, she puts her attention onto the oncoming P-40E. This is going to be another head-on engagement. FlyGirl has a centrally mounted cannon which favors her against the Kitty Hawk's wing-mounted machine guns. No contest, the Kitty Hawk is dead and the Spitfire right behind it gets lined up in the crosshairs. Boom and boom. Double kill. 2 more kills on the record to bring her up to 10 in the BF-109 F4. I like this next sequence because it displays FlyGirl's ability to prioritize. She's got a sure kill on the tail of an A-20, but spots an approaching P-40. She abandons the A-20 to engage the greater threat to her plane. She turns it into a head-on and sets the P-40 aflame. Behind is an oncoming Gladiator. What was it thinking there? FlyGirl takes the free kill from the Gladiator, and as soon as the burning P-40 hits the water, she's got 12 kills in her 109. Now for that A-20 she let go earlier. That's the luxury FlyGirl has earned by ridding herself of the threat of the Kitty Hawk. The lumbering A-20 is still there to be gunned down by her faster and nimbler plane. It's just a matter of getting onto the Havoc 6 and filling it with Menengeschoss. 13 kills, and she's got an appetite for more. This here is just easy mode. On her left, FlyGirl has another A-20 headed in her direction. The pilot is so kind as to put it into a gentle dive for her. 14 kills. Not a whole lot to say about that one. This Beaufighter though, different story. FlyGirl wins the head-on with a Beaufighter, but that was damn lucky. You just shouldn't be in the habit of taking head-ons with Beaufighters. More of the same here. An ill-advised head-on with a Ki-45, but FlyGirl rolls the dice again and doesn't crap out. 16 kills now, and as the ticket counter for her team bleeds away, it's looking to be a loss for her side. She wound up in this game with a total of 26 kills between her Focke-Wulf 198-4 and this BF-109 F4. Soon she'll take out the last plane of this match, a BF-110 for her 17th in the 109. Individually, she's had a hell of a game with 26 kills and 1 death. On Guest Rampage though, we focus on the exploits of a single flyout. If you have your own flyout you want highlighted, you too can be on a future Guest Rampage. Send in a link to a video or the replay file and I'll look it over. And if you're looking for a laid-back squadron with cool people, you could do worse than Sue Squadron. Look them up in-game if you want to stop flying solo, and tell them KillCam sent you. Well, this BF-110 is running out of time, and so is this video. As it falls into the ground, all I ask is that you click on subscribe down below, as well as like and comment on the video. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all good hunting.